Interscope was the West, when it was East Coast, West Coast going on. I went over there and then kicked their ass up and down the street. You should see, I've been kicking their ass ever since. I got it, like this is like my lifestyle now. I just kick ass for a living. Get rich or die trying. Why you going through my stuff?
What?
Why you going through my stuff?
What are you doing with a loaded gun in my house? Come back here!
Get Rich or Die Tryin was difficult because I didn't realize how much it was shot out of sequence. So it was almost therapeutic for me at the same time because they were asking me to go through these things that really were a part of my life and one moment it was funny, but then the next moment it wasn't. You know, and there was experiences that were really rough experiences for me that I didn't really deal with emotionally ahead of that. And then I had to think about these things in order to get to a place where I could perform it. But yeah, I've experienced things being a lot easier after I've gone through classes and stuff and then worked on projects that didn't actually affect me like that personally, you know. As I got involved in that project, it was because I was at Interscope Records and I had the entire same production backing as Eminem's 8 Mile. So they just had huge success with that project and said, well, why don't we do it with 50? He's the new high artist that came in. And it worked. It worked pretty good. They gave me everything. I had all the bells and whistles on that project. I had Terry Winters, the writer for Get Rich or Die Tryin', wrote the Wolf on Wall Street, The Sopranos, Tulsa King, right? And he's like one of the usual suspects for a hit. So they gave me a really good writer. And then they gave me Jim Sheridan, My Left Foot, Only in America, a few pieces that you check out from him. But real Hollywood actors writers and directors to build a project that would be something special. They gave me Quincy Jones that did the score and the music for that project. So it was like no B-level guys. It was all A-level people involved in that project. And it did pretty well for me. But for me going into it creatively, I didn't know what I was getting into because I said, yeah, I'll do a movie. I'm gonna do a movie. And then when we got into it, it was really no control. So this is why they couldn't get him back after 8 Mile. Because we can control things when we work on music in the studio. It's not ready till we say it's ready. We can do it and do it over, or you know, it doesn't matter until it's perfected. Now you just someone on a team of people that can make a great project, and then there's a whole cast. And if you look, I had some real heavy hitters in that movie. You know, really talented people: Terrence Howard, Troy Bryant, Viola Davis, Bill Duke. There was a lot of real heavy hitters in that movie.
I'm up early in the morning, trying to make a move. We coming in when you shorty, take your little one to school. Even though she caused the drama, you love your baby mama. I hit her with the llama to get this cake.
We recorded the entire soundtrack for Get Rich or Die Tryin' during the movie while we was there. So like I had a trailer. I used to bring a van that I had that was a recording studio set up inside. So we just recorded, like the whole time we was there, we was recording and we made the soundtrack. Then the Thieves. So here's what's up. For the past 16 years, my daughter's safety and protection has been my responsibility only. Now, for the first time in her life, I gotta hand you that responsibility. Don't fuck up, or your mama will weep and she has to wheel your ass around every day the rest of your life. Then the Thieves, that one is different. That project is crazy because I had a relationship I was still at CAA at that point. I had an agent there, and I asked him to give me an action script, and he got it for me, and I read it, and he was like, what do you think about it? And I was like, oh, I thought it was cool because, you know, when the car blew up and all of this and that. And he was like, I said, what do you think? And he said, I think it's shit. And I'm like, So what you give it to me for if you think it's, you know, he said, I want to read what you have that's the best action scripts, like, period. Give me the best shit y'all got here, right? And he went and got me what he felt like was the best projects, and he came back with a script, and the script was The Thieves. Strange enough, like, I just wanted to read so I could identify what was good and what wasn't bad. So I spent more time reading scripts than reading, like, books and stuff like that. And then what ended up happening was Tucker had that project at the time. The only other person that had the script at that point was Gerard Butler, because he was already a superstar that they saw driving the film. And then I ran into Tucker at the Oscar party. See, I'm already in the A-list spot because of where the music places me. So I'm in the places with everybody that is doing this, but I hadn't connected on the side with actors. So when I'm communicating with him, I said, "Oh, you Tucker?" I said, "Yeah. She got that script I like." And he's like, he didn't know what I was talking about. And I said, "The Dinner Thieves script." And he said, because that one was his pet project, and the writer, Christian Gudegas, was a first-time writer and director on Dinner Thieves when you saw it, so he hadn't done anything at that point. So for me to know what the script already was crazy. And he was like, yo, he remembered that. So when I came back around, when they were actually doing the casting for the film, when I came to see him, I was like, you know, I like that script. I liked it from back then. And and I told him I'd work on it if there was, you know, if they think about it. So, you know, and then it just came back around full circle. So I did that.
What happened to the cash?
I don't know. They don't tell me. They don't talk much.
Yeah, people with things to hide never have much to say.
So am I under arrest or can I leave?
Now you just keep doing your thing. We'll be in touch.
Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson. What did they bring to that project that you like?
The first one, O'Shea was there, and he was impressive on the first one. The second one, Dinner Thieves 2, he went somewhere new. Like he had to go learn to speak another language. He went to he did some work on that project that, for me, it was his like breakout performance. And I told him, when, you know, personally, I think this is your movie now, because Gerard is there to make it a success. But what it does for the rest of his career is something that, you know, I personally told him, it's your movie now, bro. Like, you got it. Like, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, don't listen to what nobody's telling you. I just watched it. You know what I'm saying?
Did you expect a part 2 to come out of it?
I did expect it, because I was, you know, talking to Tucker. And I expect Dinner Thieves 3 to come out, you know? And those communications, like, are things that, out of the cast and crew, probably I'm the only one outside that had those communications with the production side of it, you know what I'm saying? So, Southpaw.
I want you to line it up.
Line it up.
Miguel just showboating, baby. I'm gonna shut him the fuck up. Line it up.
Tour just makes sense. If it makes money, it makes sense. 2 for the bills, 1 for the belt.
Wait, hold on.
The Tour fight makes better sense.
No. You think Miguel's a better fighter?
No, I didn't say that.
Southpaw, that movie, that project happened for me because of my relationship with Antoine Fuqua. Lala, she called me and she was like, do you know Antoine? Like, they're working on this project and I really want to be a part of it. And this and that. I said, yeah. I said, yeah, I know him. I'll reach out to him. And so I reached out, and we kept missing each other. We kept playing phone tag until, you know, I made it back to New York, and it was like, because La was working out in the gym that Gyllenhaal was working in, training to prepare for the role in New York City, right? So when he hit me, I was like, yo, he's like, yo, come down. I said, oh, all right. And then when they texted me while I was riding, and he was like, yo, he said he wanted me to read for the Jordan Maines character. And I was like, I hadn't read the script at all. You know what I'm saying? When I got there to communicate with him, it was me making fun of how Al Heyman talks to us. he really liked it because I was telling a story and I started doing it while I was explaining it, and he was like, "That's it right there, like that's it." I'm like, "I bet, like let's do it," like, you know what I'm saying? But that was one of the things where I didn't like prepare for that to get it. Like I just called because I was trying to recreate this communication that for Lala, actually. And then when I did make the communication, it shifted and it was like, yo, nah, we want you to do this. And I'm like, oh, I bet. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know you had me in mind for anything like that. But I had some ideas for the character because I had already started doing some shit that he liked, you know what I mean? So it was cool.
You got to see what's happening here. You need to cut back.
What's
I mean, they've already taken 2 of the cars.
What's it about, man?
It's real simple.
What's it about? You taking my money?
What?
You stealing from me, Simon?
No. I'm just here to help out.
In Gyllenhaal, he's like, man, his discipline level is super high, bro. Like there's a few guys that I've worked around that been able to immerse themselves in their characters so far that you go, God damn, like you look at them and go, this is like after Nightcrawler and some other shit he just did that was super like intense. And I just seen him on Broadway. So I'm like really, like he's like a chameleon.
The fuck kind of shit was that, man? Broke his nose, man. Shattered his motherfucking cheekbone. What got into you, man? We did the biggest deal that we ever did, Billy, and you fucked it off, man. It'll be a year before your suspension is up for review, which means 0 income.
I don't think they overlook Southpaw, but there's been a lot of new boxing features that came out that like following that, you know what I'm saying? And I think, it's interesting because there's different components and parts to the sport that people don't see, like behind the scenes and the promotional side of things and everything that, I had, unfortunately had to go into those areas a little while, My relationships swayed me into working in the sport of boxing a little bit when I really like it from a fan's perspective. I wouldn't have picked it as a business to go into. But it just was something I could use and draw from that experience. That's how I used that experience in my life over there. I was passionate in areas that a lot of the other artists really don't pay attention to. Matter of fact, the majority of them don't pay attention to the business side of things anyway. So you look, even the actors don't pay attention to the actual production, like the entire production side. They're busy with the acting, so, or they'll find a point person or someone that can work with them that is an actual business person that will do it themselves, will do it for them, with their name on it and shit. Righteous Kill.
Stress will kill you. Yeah, chill out.
I'm as chill as I get.
What do you want to do?
Every once in a while, one of you Upper East Side bitches get popped, tries to roll over on a nigga like me. They scared now. Looks like the cavalry come to rescue you.
Avi Lerner, he also financed Righteous Kill. And this is where, you'll start to see how my perception of features, Hollywood or entertainment, shift a little bit because of finances, right? Because I would have the ability to be in the presence of people who are actually paying for the stuff to happen. So I'm looking at their process, not just the screen. And this is how I end up in film, television, production, and G-Unit film and television. So with Avi, what happened was I was on Righteous Kill with De Niro and Pacino, and they were together and they were looking at each other. And it was he was like, well, they had press and publicity to do. And he was like, well, how much, what's he gonna do? Oh, you got Pacino, you got De Niro buff title, you really don't get no promotions like that. So he's like, if Pacino's going, but he's not doing much, then De Niro will be like, I'm devaluing myself by running around doing this shit after he's not doing anything, right? It was something going on there was a little weird that they both wasn't working at that point. And then I looked at it a little different because it was an opportunity for me. I was in a film with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, so I was looking at it like, I'll do it. Avi didn't realize how many additional outlets would come because it was 50 Cent. And all the music side, everything else that came. He was like, it's way more than what it would have been if we just did the... And I said, cool, just put it on there, I'll just do it. You know, it was me not missing the opportunity to make my audience understand that I was working with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and they didn't have to do that. Their brands were strong enough for it to be a success anyway. Expendables 4.
Hey, is this the new guy?
Hey, it's Easy Day. Good man, ex-Special Forces.
Hey, Von.
Hey, Easy.
This outside?
Don't worry about it. I got a prescription scope.
What? Well, guys, remember this face. Don't shoot it by accident.
Well, I was actually supposed to play Terry Crews's role in Expendables, right? I had done something with Avi Lerner. The timing around that, I had a album launch, Can Ray Come, and fragrance and all kind of other stuff lined up that the 50 Cent business is making way more money off of that than what I would have made going to run around with them in the jungle, like to go do the movie and shit. So I said, nah, I couldn't do that at that point. And this is how Stallone ended up bringing Terry Crews to do it. And then the next Expendables is the one I'm in.
She's talking to you.
Actually, she's looking in your direction.
I'm talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
But about you. You might be my boss, but I can tell that you're also from this planet called Hopeless, where intimate relationships and feelings don't fucking exist!
That was not the first time I worked with Jason Statham, but it was fun working with him on that project, and then having like Dolph Lundgren and all these other guys there at the same time. So that was like a cool project to be on. Like all my action stars in one place, like right there. So it's like, it was fun to be there. For me, it was exciting to be there and be around them.
Did you learn anything from them?
Yeah, I don't need so many words to get what I'm trying to say across. These are the best one-liners in the world. They are not looking for no sophisticated dialogue to go off for exactly what the fuck they're trying to say. They're saying, what are we trying to say in this scene? What are we trying to do? What is this? What are we trying to say? Power universe. You pick Ghost over me.
Oh, no, I didn't. Look. Just put my daughter down, please.
I'm on here. Yeah, one job. One. Now you're sitting there like you're ready to shit yourself.
Whoa, what's the matter?
Baby, it's okay, baby, it's okay. Look, you know, you don't understand. Look, Ghost, trust me.
Fly, baby.
Look, wait, I promise you, please. I'm right where you want me to be.
What I enjoyed the most about playing Kanan Stark was he was a bad guy. Like I said, when I first got involved with it, I said, if I play a bad guy, I want to play a really bad guy, right? And I try to stay away from the TV moments, like to stay away from moments that weren't realistic or didn't feel like they would actually happen. I got a little more than I was looking for when they kind of asked me to kill an old lady with a Jesus Saves pillow and shit. I was like, what the fuck, who does that, right? And then I'm like, okay, can I be on drugs? Because I've seen people do things that I couldn't explain, you know, in the environment that I grew up in, and it made it real to me that he was high and going through the trauma of being burnt and all the other stuff that was going on there. He just did it. But I didn't even ask them to change dialogue at any point. Like if it was difficult for me to roll the words off my tongue, I just said it until it became comfortable or I got comfortable with it. But that was one of the cooler projects, like for me, like acting in a show. That was one of the cool ones.
Listen, if you ever need to talk about some shit going down, some shit you can't tell Ghost, burn 'em. Gods keep me stopped. I know you're gonna do me proud, son.
There's parts of Kanan that embody me. I think you got to find the character in yourself anyway. So when I got into it, the confusion that was going on with the kid, like he had a relationship with his son that was strained. I have that also, and then there's the understood that, but it was under different circumstances where you felt betrayed by the actual person, you know what I mean? Then I can see you being as aggressive as he was with his son, you know what I'm saying?
What's poppin'? Nothing, man. I'm just tired of all this shit going on with my parents. Dad didn't make bail. He wants us to come visit. Does that mean he's guilty? I told you, I knew your dad for a long time. He did that shit. He guilty as fuck.
Whatever they say he did that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like in the Tariq character, like Kanan, this is the thing where you replace things. He started finding his son in Tariq. Like he looked at him like that was his kid, not that kid, you know, other kid, you know what I mean? And then it's because he was bad. Like Tariq was really bad. He was looking and identified that he wants to do bad shit. Like this is it's already in him. Like so he was like he liked that. Kanan liked that because that's already the lifestyle he chose, and he became more attracted to him as he saw that, you know, that he wanted to do it. I didn't mind killing Kanan when it came time, but it was one of those things where, look, at some points, when people have success for the first time in their career, sometimes they need it to be all as, right? So the difficult thing is if they have their success for the first time and it's a 50 Cent show, it is a 50 Cent show. Like publicly people look at it like it's presented by 50 Cent. It's 50 Cent. The story is from Southside Jamaica, Queens. Everything is 50 Cent tied to the show. The music that's playing is 50 Cent. It got awkward for the writer, for the showrunner, because she felt like it was registering as a 50 Cent show instead of her show. And that turned into, it got weird with her behaviors and the things that was going on behind the scenes with her. And then it also was friction between her and Omari, because he was feeling like he was the lead and the star of the show. So she was having a problem with anybody who was leading the show because she felt like it was her show, like it was hers. And it was a show rightfully as a writer, but he is the star of the show. Omari would have died, Ghost Must Die, he would have died where Kanan died, that much earlier. She planned to kill Omari's character off right there. And I'm like, nah. I could feel how the general public was feeling about it, and I knew that was not the right decision. And I was saying, well, she said, well then, if he doesn't die, something has to happen, something big has to happen. And I'm like, me, like kill my character. Like, I got other shit to do. I could go be 50 Cent and then I don't have to be here anymore. Like, look, I took a pay cut to be there the entire time that I was on that show. Like that, I was being paid in the very beginning $17,000 per episode, while executive producing the show, being the music supervisor pretty much for then doing the theme song and all the promotion and publicity. It wasn't until the third season that they would accept the show on Good Morning America without me being there. I was technically the star of Power until I introduced everybody to it, and then Omari Hardwick turned into the star of Power.
Do you agree with them killing Ghost?
I wouldn't have killed him. The shit could still been running if it was right now. It just was creatively a decision that she made because she was not feeling him no more. It turned into almost hatred to him feeling like that.
They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part.
From the music perspective of Power, you tried to do the remix. You feel me, with Trey?
Tried to do the remix.
You know
See how he talked about me?
It's crazy.
And on the fucking camera, he says this to me. You tried to do the remix.
That was crazy.
I sold over 40 million records. You want to tell me I tried to do the remix? Look. I did the theme song for Power, and then I did a remix to it. And the remix was doing extremely well, like at radio with me and Trey, but they just had a funk around Trey. Like they just was not, publicly they was like, like that. that I did that, and it didn't make sense to go against anything that the audience didn't want. So I just go, put it back. So this is after the theme song's been playing for 6 years. I'm just offering you a new, cool version of a theme song for and it wasn't ready. They'd rather just hear, like, you know, I should have thought about it. Nobody asked to change the theme song to Good Times, you know? It's fine when you do it right the first time. You can just let it play. But this record played for 6 years, 6.5 years. My passion for film and television was what was driving me in that direction, because financially it was you would look at it and say, what the fuck are you doing? I remember I went to do Jimmy Kimmel specifically, right? I did Jimmy Kimmel's first season, opening show type thing like that. And then I really blew him up, bro. I was hot at that time. I blew him up. He don't never give me no credit, but I blew up Jimmy Kimmel, right? But I would go back to see him, and while I'm there, I'm like talking about the television show. And he goes, yeah, and he says, what network is this on? I said, STARZ. And he looked and he goes, STARZ, that isn't a network. That isn't a network. Because it wasn't recognizable or a big network at that point, but I was confident in it. Chris Albert, he had developed HBO, you know what I mean? So he had done a lot of things over there, and I was excited about working with him, and we got into it, and we got it going. I didn't see Power becoming the universe right away. I looked at it, doing the spinoff, once we got into the spinoff concepts, I understood the universe play, and then even like Raising Kanan, I knew that would be one of the better spinoffs because it's in the golden era. Like you're going right back into a time period. It's like the heyday of these behaviors in the cities and communities that people definitely relate to it and understand that time period. So I took that one. Like Courtney had no interest in working on that because she felt like it's like telling a story that people already know the outcome to because they know that Kanan makes it through, but they don't know the trauma and the experience he went through to get there. So, and she was wrong about that because that show, it just snapped. 50 Cent. I didn't get nominated for anything because they wouldn't give me trophies. They were afraid their kids wanted to be 50 Cent at that point. So they gave me checks because I outperformed a lot of people musically and publicly. And so you could check, Billboard would tell you that I'm dominating, but the award show would tell you that I'm not, you know.
Go, 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 go.
There's more artists doing things that are their version of what I did at the present moment than other artists that I watched come before me. Like I can see portions of my experience in the things that they're actually doing, and then I'm watching how it plays out for them. But mine's is probably one of the most influential ones on the culture because it changed the way people approach doing things. Like there's a section or area where they kind of all turned into it's like a pot of artists that were all like street artists. And then they split it in half. Well, beef between two of them divided the culture, like, you know. So it was like if they ended up cool with Dirk and these guys over here, or cool with NBA Youngboy and these guys over here, and it's a little different because of the gang culture shifted. You know, everything on the street ends up in our culture. It ends up in hip hop culture because it's the closest thing to it, you know.
Yeah, it's 50, aka Ferrari F50. Break it down.
Yeah, I think that real life experience stuff is starting to come. It bleeds into the music, the art, and everything else.
At that point in your career, how was it working with Eminem and Dr. Dre and even Jimmy Iovine?
Working with M and Dre, it was a dream sequence. You know what I'm saying? I knew better than to do deals with people that were in the Universal system, or because Ja and them had that influence over those particular companies and different things. So I was patient until something came that made sense away from everything. Like Interscope was the West. When it was East Coast, West Coast going on, that was the West Coast. You know, so it was a better place for me because I had so much smoke going on the East Coast that I couldn't get like a fair shot or launch of anything. So I went over there and then kicked their ass up and down the street. You should see, I've been kicking their ass ever since. I got it. Like, this is like my lifestyle now. I just kick ass for a living. From there, I've dominated or done what I wanted to do at points when, if I received resistance and I didn't continue to bang my head against the wall trying to figure out how to please the public, I just went into a different, diversified, went into a different categories of my personal interests. Because when I listen back to Get Rich or Die Tryin' now, what stands out to me is the difference in tempo now and what I was doing at that point. Because like I picked a lot of up-tempo or high energy production, and the one that almost didn't make it is the hottest thing now. Like that was the stuff that I was shying away from. I wasn't sure I was gonna put Many Men on that album because of the tempo. Yayo he loved that record, so he would always bring it up. So it's the reason why I was like, nah, I'll put it on there. But that's it. The album technically is one song away from being a double CD. It's 19 cuts. Like, you know, it's not like, it's rare a new artist can produce a record that you want to listen to all of the 19 cuts on the record. Like, so it's a special project, you know, for me. Sean Combs, the record.
Other people that need to do something, because this is ridiculous, y'all watching, us watching this shit. You feel me? So he wants me to do nothing, but he's not saying he doesn't want Justin to use his brain and everybody to use their brains and fucking to figure out whatever. You know what I'm saying?
The Reckoning, I started that project about 6 months before I found Alex Stapleton. She did the docuseries and she did the story of it. And it's important that you find the right director. So they tell, at the core, they find the right story out of even the interviews that you've already collected, the people that were willing to be on tape with different layers and levels of people willing to participate because of my involvement.
Scarface, the movie. I want the world and everything that's in it. But you got everything.
Hey, yo, New York, we fucking did it! Harlem, we did it, Mount Vernon, we did it!
It's one of those things that, whether you noticed or not, nobody said anything about any of this for all of these parties and these things that were going on the entire time. And it's like, I would always say, not with that. I don't like the boy vibes. I tell you, he's a fruit pop, like, because he was two things that felt like it was uncomfortable for me to be around him. Why it just was a little more touchy and around people a little too much than. He wasn't in the closet. He was like in the hallway where you could see that there's something going on, but you just don't know what exactly to say. And in hip hop, it follows aspiration. As long as you're financially in a spot where they aspire to you, they won't be sure if they don't like what your choices are. They'll look and go, or maybe, you know, like that. So they didn't say anything about it. And when you get down to the docuseries itself, when it hits, because I tell Alex that it's gonna be a huge success, you know, but you just gotta wait it out for a second, and then when she see it, and then when she's unsure how successful the project's gonna be, it comes back as #1 in 31 countries. When that happens and it beat Stranger Things for about 4 weeks, they spend about $120 million per episode on Stranger Things, bro. Not by chance. It's supposed to be the biggest thing by design, right? By what's being put into it. So when it could beat it, it's just saying the noise that I make or the interest that I'm creating is enough for people to stop and look. I currently have 44 shows across 12 different networks. I partner with a lot of different production companies that have already successfully created these projects. So it secures the networks understanding that the delivery will be A1, right? So this is how it works. If you don't need Variety, Hollywood Reporter to write a blurb about me, I don't need it. My phone reaches 100 million people through my social media reach, right? So when they do it, it sends a message to business insiders that if you want the show to sell, you want to bring it to me so we can package it properly and we can sell it. That works extremely well as a foundation for me to start the physical productions that I'm developing in Shreveport at the present moment. So I'm excited about that I'll be creating a whole new slate of material that I'm producing. It'll be coming out of Shreveport. You won't see the difference as it's released publicly. It's just like everything else that you've seen from me that's been premium and completely up to standard. Fightland.
Joe Louis, Ali, Frazier, Foreman, Holmes, Tyson, Holyfield, 7 of the greatest heavyweights of all time. But what's the common denominator?
Not one of them was from London. But Duke's gonna change that.
Fightland is my first UK-based show. And that one is it's exciting. I got my boy Nicholas Pinnock back to work. I worked with him on ABC, my ABC for Life show. He was the lead. And that one was a hit too, you know that. Let's see, look, to the general public, when they see my material, we get out there and they go, oh, nah, this is, I see what he's doing. Like, this is dope. Like, this, and ABC, it premiered in the pandemic. So I know you watched it because you had nothing else to do actually when it came on. So everybody saw that one. And then the second season was terrible for me because by the second season, look, the first season represented 7 years of the man's life. So they jumped timelines. And it was so dramatic that I really didn't like the second season of the show, with him being out and everything. It turned into a whole nother show. It felt like it turned into a law show to me when it just, but a different perspective for, you know. Yeah, that's the way it is. You can't, sometimes the networks make calls that you can't. You kind of got to go roll with the punches. If they give notes and you do things and they're paying for it, so you got to do it. You got to make it the way they would like you to make it, as far as the writers are concerned. And it's a team effort. But yeah, Fightland, I'm excited about. This one has a lot of talented actors that are coming from the other side, like from the UK base. And I think everybody's they're going to blow faster with my involvement because the US audience will see them and embrace them faster than they would. And like the other projects, like the characters are notable in the shows that I connected with. So when this happens, they're going to become people that, you know, somebody to us out here.
What's the number one rule of my gym?
No food allowed in the gym.
What's the number one rule?
No visitors allowed without you knowing.
No visitors without me knowing.
What I would say to about film production is the difference. Like I even communicate this with Tyler, that like, you gotta kind of explain the Hollywood way, then unteach people the Hollywood production methods, so they have a new way of moving faster and more efficiently. You know what I'm saying? And everyone that doesn't understand it, that wants to stay like in the old Hollywood wave, that they're going to find themselves out of business. You know what I'm saying? You see how many production companies are reducing the size of things that they're doing, and it's just the climate of the business at that point. So while they're having issues, those issues are for those suckers that don't see it the right way. So they developed these big companies with all these employees and stuff like that, and they're gonna have to get rid of these people, downsize it, and be more efficient. So I don't have to do that. I pick the right people coming in that have a lot of experience, a lot more experience than I do in production at different points. And I don't like to be the most or the smartest person in the room. I try to collect smart people. Street Fighter.
Were you gonna show?
That was some abracadabra shit. Did I audition for Street Fighter? No, I didn't audition for Street Fighter. I talked to Kill, like the producers, ahead of time that I made them understand I would be willing to do that. Like mine is a little different. I don't have audition time for you. Like I'm running around doing the 50 Cent thing. So when I'm communicating early with them, I'm like, yo, I'll do the. I was making them aware that I wouldn't shy away from smaller roles in big productions, because the big roles, you got to commit to 30 days. It's a whole quarter of the time. So it pulls you out of everything else that I have going on, like at the same time. So I'll take those roles like it's not a issue for me. And then, but I had to be in the room with them to make those communications so they understand that I would be willing to do those things. Like if not, they'll go, wait, nah, I'm not sure if this is big enough for me to approach them with this, or, Street Fighter, it got an ill cast. Cody Rhodes, the kid Noah is gonna blow. Watch, I'm telling you, I can tell you this in advance. He's gonna blow up. He's gonna be a big star coming out of that. I didn't work with Jason Momoa. He shot away from us because he is CG and all kind of effects and stuff like that, and he did his piece somewhere else. But I shot in Australia. I was out there for like 2 months. Street Fighter for me, when I first came in contact with it, I was like, it's an arcade game, so we would sit and play. I just picked one of the characters, and I used to, the E100 character was my favorite because you didn't really have to know what you was doing that much. If you keep hitting the button, his hand would do this thing, and he would be able to handle whoever we had in front of him. So that was one of the characters I used a lot. But that was a big thing. Like in that time period, it's like one of those big things, like for us, and we got that cycle going again. Now in gaming, it's always like that. Like the kids at certain stages, they own different games as we go, and then so I think those things will be big later. Like those will all be big films where they could turn those games into something, because of how much time they spend in it. They'll get with the idea of it as a feature too, to check it out.